Good morning. This is the Board of Appeals, Town of Hempstead, January 22nd, 2025, 9:30 meeting. Will everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Chairman, do you have any opening remarks?
I'll try to keep it brief. Initially, I'd like to thank everyone for braving the cold and coming in. Otherwise, we'd be sitting here looking at each other with nothing to do. For those of you who are not familiar with the procedures we follow, in calling the calendar, we will call adjournments first. And if there are no adjournments, once we finish with the adjournments, we'll start calling the regular calendar. If there is anyone who has not been here before, we'll get through the morning calendar fairly quickly. We do have a court reporter. The proceedings are live streamed, so you can refer to them later if you wish. Once we close the cases, we won't accept any additional evidence. We do accept emails, letters. We're not bound by the formal rules of evidence, and I think that's all I'd like to say. If no one has any questions, we will then proceed.
Mr. Chairman, I do not have any applications for adjournment today and in the morning.
That's good.
First, we will call case 3725 through 3925, Wantaw McDonald's Corporation. Renewal of grants, maintain one double-faced illuminated ground sign, overall size 100 square feet, overall height 18 feet, setback 5 feet from the property lines. Maintain one double-faced illuminated directional sign, overall size 15.6 square feet, overall height 39 feet. Maintain one double-faced illuminated directional sign, overall size 15.6 square feet, overall height 39 feet, also known as 1946 Wantaw Avenue.
I just wanted to clarify one thing from the denial. The directional signs are not 15 feet, they're actually 5.67 square feet.
Hold on. Okay, maintain one double-faced illuminated directional sign. Okay, you said signs. Is there more than one?
There's an enter and an exit sign.
Illuminated direction. Okay, so you're saying there, it says overall, so the first one is overall size 15.6 square feet.
Is that accurate? Is that 15.6 accurate, or is it not?
No, it is not 15.6 square feet. It is
It is
5.6. 5.6.
Oh, so,
Okay.
They're entrance and exit signs, so they're not huge.
on the original grant, if you know, was it properly written 5.6? So this might just be a typo.
It might be a typo.
Yeah. Pardon? Wait, wait.
No, it's not. It looks like the original grant was 15.6. So you're telling us that it's 5.6?
Correct.
Is that on both of them?
Both signs are exactly the same. One just says entrance, the other says exit.
Okay.
Hold on, Christine. So
Do we
the
wanna-
original grant seems to have been
15.6.
15.6.
Do we want to
5.6.
amend
It
this?
looks like a clerical error that happened back then. So is there anything you need us to do here to change that, or you can fix it?
I don't know if you guys want to amend the caption
That's what I'm
now,
thinking.
I think we would, yeah.
or if you want us to take a look to see paperwork and whatnot, the original one. I mean, if you, if
Okay.
5.6
All right,
now is
you know what we'll do? You know what we'll do?
Yeah, so yeah, it's all three big, All right, so what we'll do is, we'll take your testimony, we'll close the matter, and then council to the board's going to check into the original paperwork. And we have your testimony that they're each is it exactly 5.6?
5.67.
5.67.
Okay, so if she'll go through the paperwork, make sure, and then we'll amend the caption if necessary to correct that.
Okay.
Go forward.
The pylon sign didn't change, that's still the same.
Okay.
Well, this
ground.
didn't change, right?
No, these haven't changed, it's
It
just,
just
yeah.
appears to be a typo back then. Okay.
It's a renewal, and the building department did inspect the premises on October 16th, and they found that all conditions previously imposed by the board were being complied with. Do you have anything else you'd like to add?
I do not.
Okay. Do I have any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I would just move that the hearing be closed, that the matter be placed on the decision calendar. You'll be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's rendered.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Stay warm.
Have a good day.
Next, we have case 4025, Levittown, Kevin and Phyllis Nally. Renewal of grant to maintain pool and front yard on Hyacinth Road and 6-foot high fence larger than pool installation area, also known as 72 Orchid Road. Mr. Chairman, there is an application for an appearance waiver on this.
Okay. It's a residential application. We will therefore grant the appearance waiver. The building department inspected the premises on October 28th, 2024, and they found that all conditions previously imposed by the board have been complied with. Do I have any other statements or questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Move that the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. The applicant will be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's rendered.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right.
Next, we have case 4125, Merrick Stephen Koshers and Mitchell Koshers, doing business as Koshers and Company Accountants and Consultants. Renewal of grant for variance in off-street parking and permission to park in Res B District and in front yard setback on Merrick Avenue, also known as 1094 Merrick Avenue.
Go right ahead. Stephen Koshers and Mitchell Koshers, TBA Koshers and Company. Kosher Academy and Consultant. No, you don't do it that way.
I'm sorry.
Better
This week, yeah.
make up your mind.
I need you to come.
Yeah. My niece? I'll do anything for my niece.
This is something for everyone. To have a whole adventure.
You watch too much television. Let's see.
You gotta make a record, say it.
It's Barry Nelson, 220 Pettit Avenue, Belmore, New York, 11710. It appears that there might be a outstanding renewal upon this application for the non-resident occupant as a CPA firm, and I'd like to adjourn it to have them both heard at the same time.
Thank you for bringing that to the board's attention. As a result of the conversation that we had at the bar, we're going to adjourn the case to give you the opportunity to properly advertise it. And you'll come back. Patrick, you have a date?
March 5th at 11 a.m.
That's fine.
Is that fine?
You said March 5th, right?
Correct.
Correct.
Thank you.
So you have
You're
to do
welcome.
new notices. You have to send out new notice.
Yep.
Oh, because, wait,
Give me
wait, you only have to send out new notices if we have to add something to the calendar, right?
Well,
Does it,
that's exactly.
Well, we think we are, but what if it was granted permanently back then? Right, so you guys will find out. Yeah.
Give me one of these, because these are all dry.
good night.
These are all dry.
Does it make you feel like coloring?
Give me the orange one.
Just don't take that.
We'll get you a coloring book.
Patrick, Jones are.
Next, we're calling case 4225 Franklin Square, Agatha Calteri Lyons. Variances, front yard setback on Courthouse Road, side yard, maintain addition, and cellar entrance, both attached to dwelling, also known as 888 Court Road.
Yeah.
Michael Palumbo, architect, 80 Elizabeth Drive, Bethpage, New York, 11714. Good morning, Chairman, members of the board. I'm appearing on behalf of Agatha Caltera Lyons of 888 Court Road, Franklin Square, New York. We are requesting a variance to maintain an existing one-story addition and
Mr.
cellar
Palumbo?
entrance.
Have you been in the house?
Yes, I have.
You've been upstairs, downstairs, and in the garage? One
Yes, I have.
kitchen? One kitchen in the house?
There's one kitchen in the house, yes.
The basement doesn't have any, is that finished? Is there an apartment down there?
No, the basement has finishes. There's finished walls, perimeter walls.
But
There's no,
aren't you destroying the whole dwelling?
I'm sorry?
No,
Isn't this?
no. They're maintaining an addition.
Case 42. So, nothing in the basement?
There's a three-piece bath in the basement, and there's sheetrock walls around the perimeter and a mechanical room. Pretty much as per the plans that were submitted to the building department.
Okay. And the detached garage, is that finished?
The detached garage is, from what I understand, unfit, well, it may be sheetrocked for fire rating.
Sure.
Okay,
Doesn't tell me much.
thank you.
So we are requesting a variance to maintain an existing one-story addition and cellar entrance, which is located in the Residence C zone and does not have the minimum required front yard setback of 20 feet along Courthouse Road, maintaining a front yard setback of 11.3 feet. The existing addition does not have the minimum required side yard setback of 5 feet, maintaining a side yard setback of 2.9 feet. According to the building department records, a permit and variance was filed for in 1956 under building permit number 119779 to construct a breezeway and garage. The breezeway has since been converted to habitable space. These structures existed when Agatha's mother originally purchased the property in 1995. My client inherited this property from her mother's estate and is seeking to obtain the proper permits and COs for the existing structures. The property was sold, and there is a substantial amount of money being held in escrow. The property is well maintained, and the existing structures are consistent with the character of the neighborhood. An that completes my application.
Is there still a swimming pool?
I'm sorry?
Is there still a swimming pool?
Swimming pool?
Yes.
There's no swimming pool on the property.
Okay, I just see it on Google Earth. At one time, was there?
Possibly at one time.
Above ground.
But we have a survey that was filed with the building department, and I don't remember recalling a swimming pool there. I'll verify that, but I don't recall seeing a swimming pool.
Okay, thank you.
I'll verify that.
Mr. Palumbo?
Sure.
I'm looking at the floor plan for the cellar, and I'm trying to figure this out. It almost looks like the stairs that go down end up in the bathroom. Or is that what it says? Or are those stairs just going up? It's very odd, because if they're going from the first floor
Well,
up to the second level, they shouldn't even be shown on the floor plan. for the
are you looking at the A1 drawing?
Yes.
That's the cellar floor plan. That's the cellar floor plan. So from that floor plan, my plan shows at the cellar, where the cellar stairs are, it shows that you're going up from the cellar to the grade level.
Well, mine shows it going that way.
My
Oh,
plan.
so you're saying that the stairs are entered from the wall, that's on the plans at the bottom of the plans? That wall that's closest to the labeling?
It's in, well, the cellar entrance is in the back rear corner of the building.
No, not the entrance. I'm talking about the stairs that go, the interior stairs.
Oh, I'm sorry, the interior, okay, I thought you
So
were talking about the cellar entrance.
They go up
Yes.
from that, over there.
They go up from the cellar to the first floor.
Right, I know that.
Yeah, no,
Okay. I
what's,
think
no, what's
I'm
the
just trying
confusion?
to, the way they're drawn is just different than I'm used to, but I think I figured out they must go up from what's on the bottom of the sheet.
From the basement
that
level.
wall.
Yeah, I'm showing everything on the cellar level, so from the cellar level,
Right, I know that,
you
but it
would
was
go
the
up.
side, which side they go up from that I
No
was-
problem.
I see the search, if I just grab the whole file, please. Please, and thank you.
I apologize if you already said it, sir. When were the stairs installed?
Which ones?
Probably over like 20 years ago,
The cellar entrance.
probably over 20 years ago.
I see the almost full bath, three-quarter, or three-piece bath. That-
Actually,
that's-
let me correct myself on that, because Agatha Lyon's mother purchased the house in 1995, and the conditions existed when she purchased the house, so
And then-
almost 30 years ago.
So there's, how many people live in the house?
The house has been since sold, so I don't know how many people live there currently, but prior to that, there was one person living there.
There was one person, and so money in escrow,
I'm sorry?
money in escrow?
There is money in escrow.
And you've been in that basement.
Yes, I have.
You know the concern we always have, is that people with an exterior cellar entrance, you know, not that you're a client, but the next person might turn it into a dangerous apartment with maybe not enough.
I understand the board's concern. If the board would like to entertain the cellar entrance being removed and converted to an egress well, we would have no objection to that. We understand the board's concern regarding that basement.
Thank you. That's helpful. So this has the first floor, and then there's no, it looks like there's, is it only, I don't have a floor plan for the, what would be the second story, but it looks like there is something up there.
The second story, I don't have plans on the second story.
What's up there, if you know?
Bedrooms,
How many?
I believe 2.
Is there another bath up there?
I'm sorry?
Is there another bathroom up there?
Yes.
I may have missed it. The house is now sold again?
The house has been sold, there's money in escrow.
There's money in escrow.
Yes.
you have open permits to maintain a 6-foot fence, PVC fence.
Correct.
You have open permits, front yard variance to construct breezeway and garage. That's an open,
Well, that's why we're here today, because there's an open permit for the breezeway that was issued, I believe, in 1956, under permit 119779, but was never closed out. That breezeway has been since converted to habitable space, and that's why we're here before you. With respect to the 6-foot-high fence, I did speak to the expediter on the project. She did say that that was closed out. I'll verify that, but I think that's been
Okay.
addressed.
and then you have closed permit to maintain attached garage,
Yeah.
second floor addition, construct one-family dwelling. There's no permit filed or application for the interior finish of the basement. Not as of April 5th.
That's filed under building permit 24-5830. Existing finished cellar to be maintained, filed under building permit 24-5830. That's part of this application.
I don't think it's,
The application that we filed,
what's that? I'm sorry.
the application that we filed it included the finished cellar, the one-story addition to be maintained, which was the breezeway, which was
Right.
converted to to a habitable space. And the 6-foot-high fence was filed under building permit 17-7638, and that's since been closed out. So our application that's before you includes the converted breezeway, the finished cellar, and the cellar entrance.
Can you verify that, Stephanie? Is that accurate, what he just stated? You have access to the building department files. Okay. Thank you. So I think maybe you have to verify that the swimming pool is not there.
I'll verify that and get back to the board.
Okay.
That's not a problem.
Thank you.
No, I'm not going to do that. Okay, any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Mr. Palumbo, you have been notified by mail of the board's decision once it's rendered.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next, we have case 4325, Woodmere 994 Singleton LLC. Variances, lot area occupied, side yards aggregate, construct dwelling, demolish existing dwelling and detached garage, also known as 994 Singleton Avenue. Please raise your right hand. You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Thomas McKevitt.
Go ahead, Tom.
Thomas McKevitt, Son, Ward, Raff, Cashagato, 333 Earl Hogan Boulevard, Uniondale, New York, 11553.
Aviram Chen, 946 Midway, Woodmere, New York, 11598.
Yoni Chen, 946 Midway, Woodmere, New York, 11598.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the board.
Good morning, Mr. McKevitt.
Again, for the applicant, Thomas McKevitt, this is a property located at 994 Singleton Avenue in Woodmere, New York, also known as Section 41, Block 28, Lot 6. Lot 6, there you go. Lot 6 and 305 on the land and tax map of Nassau County. The property is located in the Residence A zone of the town of Hempstead.
Residence A. Wow.
It's Residence A, yes.
How'd that happen?
I was curious myself. I double-checked it, but it is A.
Is there a parkway nearby or anything like that?
Not that I could see.
Wow.
But I scratched my head when I saw it, but I double-checked the zoning maps myself. It's an A.
Okay, thank you.
And by the way, I gave the board some photographs I personally took last Thursday of the subject premises as well as surrounding properties. This is located on the west side of Singleton Avenue, just south of Briar Avenue. There's currently a dwelling at this location. It's a 1.5-story, dwelling constructed in 1923. It's not in good condition. It's our intention to demolish the current structure and build a new single-family dwelling at this spot. The area is entirely single-family homes. It's a very small lot. It's only 29.75 feet wide. On one of the sides, it's 114 feet deep. On the other, it's approximately 119 feet deep. So it only totals 3,510 square feet. The current dwelling is only 793 square feet. It has a lot coverage of 23.2%. The current front yard setback is 30.2 feet. The side yard on the north side is 8.5 feet, but on the south side, it's only 2.7.
Piano.
Yes, I'm taking my points, yes. So the aggregate right now is 11.2 feet, and the current rear yard is 47.1 feet. So the application we bring before you today is to demolish the existing dwelling, build a new dwelling.
No.
That was,
It's working.
okay, all right. That was the microphone telling me, as well as the court reporter says, Mr. McKevitt, please slow down.
I know.
I've heard it
Piano.
many times. So we're going to demolish the existing dwelling. If you look at the floor plans, it's going to look very similar to the current dwelling. It is a modest house in this neighborhood. The variances we asked for today are a lot area occupied as well as side yard aggregate, because frankly, there's no way you can build a house on this property without those two variances.
How many square feet is it?
The new house is going to have 957 square feet.
The lot.
The lot is 3,510. So the existing house, I said, has a 23.2% lot coverage. We're asking for 28%, where obviously under an A zone, you're only allowed 25%. But we're only building 164 square feet more than the current house, and only 104 feet more than we're entitled to as of right. So again, it's still just very modest, just trying to give a decent-sized house at this point. We don't require any other variances. So the front yard will be compliant at 25.33 feet. The rear yard will be 25 feet. The side yard aggregate, we are decreasing it from 11.2 feet to 10 feet. And the reason why we're doing that right now is, remember, on that south side, we are only 2.7 feet away from the property line. It's just way too close. So we're going to center the house. So we're going to have 5 feet on each side of the line. So it'll be balanced out, and that's why we decreased by, again, just by 1.2 feet in that instance. Just to give you some background, Mr. Owens, actually I have two decisions I'm going to hand to the board. One is actually from January of 10th of 2024, earlier this year. It was case number 760-23. It's photo number 11 in your photo arrays. It was a subdivision to go and demolish that current home and build 2 brand new homes. And on January 10th, 2024, in case number 760-23, the board granted those applications. Those homes have respectively 27.3% lot coverage and 27.8% lot coverage.
Oh, where are those?
Those are located just further down the block, further south, on Singleton. And again, they're in photo number 11 of the photo array. I think there's actually a new address has to be created for them, and the houses are still under construction. So they took one existing house, demolished it, and building 2. And again, I think they have to redo the street numbers in order to make that work.
So you offer those as evidence of the lot area occupied
Correct.
precedent. And how large were those lots, if you know?
I believe that they were standard lots. I believe actually they were larger than standard lots. I think they probably about 7,000 square feet each.
And the coverage, you said?
And the coverage is 27.3 and 27.8.
Those are also in an A?
Yes, it's all A. This whole area is an A. Now, but more importantly, another decision I just gave you was from December 16, 2022, of 991 Allen Street, which is directly in back of this premises. They actually catty corner at the rear. It's photo number 18 on your photo array package. That was granted in case 824 of 22, and that's a 30.3%. So we're asking for 28%, and this board in 2022 granted 30.3% for the property literally right in back of us. in that regard. So again, when you're looking at, this area, it's not usual because of the small size of this lot. But just one other thing I want to mention as far as developing this case. The property directly to the north of us is a woman who's lived there since 2002. Her son, Mr. Flores, has spoken to me. I'm just going to take a minute to say this. I've been doing this 18 years as a prior practitioner. Almost every case I come here where a person has disagreement, they don't communicate with you, they come with pitchforks, they say how much they hate you and your client, everything like that. Mr. Flores was a complete gentleman. Reached out to me, we met with him on the site, spoke to each other. His concern when you look at the photo number one is there's pretty much a shared driveway between his mother's house and this house. And he was concerned about getting the cars back and forth. So because of that, we will agree to the following two conditions as part of this application. Condition number one, applicant agrees that no fence shall be erected on the north side of the property for 68 feet west of Singleton Avenue. Where do I come up with that number from? If you see in the photo, there's a row of trees that separate those properties in the rear. Looking at the survey and using my ruler, I have measured to the best of my attorney's ability that's approximately 68 feet from that curb to those row of trees right now. And again, if you look at photo number two, you see that garage, which frankly should be demolished this moment. When I went to take pictures back there, I heard rustling. I thought someone was coming after me. A cat jumped out at me. I swear to God, I wish I took a picture of it.
Was it black?
It was black and white. It was a mixed cat. So I have half bad luck. It was a very mixed signal, but the cat jumped right at me because I was invading his home.
Did you take it home and adopt it?
I already have an orange cat that has serious psychological issues. I don't need, it was a stray, so I don't need it anymore. So condition number one is not going to put a fence there, so allow Mr. Flores' number to use the property. And number two is, we'll also agree, I'll email these conditions to council later on, so she has the two conditions. The second condition is, we'll agree not to make any improvements that would interfere with vehicles using the driveway for 996 Singleton Avenue. So we won't put any bushes, trees there. As a matter of fact, Mr. Flores already spoke to my client. My client's going to put a new driveway in the premises. We may actually work together in doing a driveway for him at the same time if we can work out the cost. Because right now there's only gravel right there. I think Mr. Flores would actually like a nice asphalt or a nice paving that way. And again, this man, I cannot speak higher of him, work cooperatively. We want to be a good neighbor to him. He's been a great neighbor to us.
So no improvements or no detriments?
Right, yeah, but it's a shared driveway.
Is he here?
He is not, he said he was going to be here.
There he is.
He is.
I asked because I want you to, if you would sign in, sir, we can provide you with a copy of the decision once it's made. Yes. Dawn, will you?
Ms. Flores, actually, why don't you go to the podium and speak? Just want to say. Yeah, no, just take you go to the podium. Go to the podium right there is where you speak. But I just want to thank Mr. Flores because again, you reached out to me. We had a nice conversation. You spoke to my clients. I met with you on the seat. I just want to thank you for cooperating because this is not what usually happens in these cases I mentioned to you.
No, good neighbors are very important.
He's got me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I do. Omar Flores, 108 Combs Avenue, Woodmere, New York, right around from my mother's house, 996 Singleton Avenue. We own the house. I own
Thank
the
you
house.
so much for being a gentleman. He's right.
Yeah.
We don't always have that.
My mother, a former real estate salesperson in the area, now retired, 86, God bless her, taught me good neighbors is one of the best assets anyone could ever
Can you just
wish for.
attend all of our meetings and teach the people here that? Because we get a lot of people who don't realize that.
I reached out to Mr. McKevitt first via email. He put me in touch. I also, the real estate, I actually graduated with the real estate salesperson. And then Avi, we and I spoke, and I just expressed my concern, and they were gentlemen just the same. They provided me everything I asked for, and then I got a surprise email over the holiday weekend saying we're going to just restrict or mention that we're not going to build any fence from 68 from the curb in.
Yeah.
It's not worthwhile for the new owner, builder, or myself, so it was a gentleman's agreement I had with Shirley Brower, who's the mother of the son who lives here now, and she said, listen, I know you can build a fence, but then my Gary won't have anywhere to park. And I said, well, don't worry about that, because I don't want to hit his car or your fence on the way in, because it's tight.
Mr. McKevitt, so counsel was out of the courtroom when you said the first condition. I recounted it to her, and I know you're going to email it to her. But
gonna email.
I wasn't sure, when you say 68 feet on the north side, make sure you tell her where that starts and ends unless that's the whole north side.
It's not the whole north side.
So just include in your email where the 68 feet starts and
68
ends.
Right.
foot depth.
And why even per parentheses is the approximate area where that row of trees is right now. Those row of trees separates by your garage at that point, so I fear go up there. And actually, we were originally thinking have no fence at all, and Mr. Flores one said, hey, the future owner may have children back there, and they may want to fence it off so they can't run into the street. So again, that was his idea. So I said, we're going to put that fence, the future owner will put a fence there, because at least the backyard will be fenced, but will not interfere with either his mother or a future owner's ability to use the driveway back and forth.
Okay, great.
That was important. I do know one comment came in from the board as well, too, from a neighbor across the street, concerned about a driveway. We are definitely putting a driveway in this property in the front so a car can park there. And frankly, it works out better than it is right now, because frankly, if you look at the situation right now on photograph number 1, and there's a car parked out there, that car is actually parked on about 3 feet on Mr. Flores' mother's property right now, because it's so narrow. Again, it's never been an issue, but again, we want to make sure in the future, again, we're all good people here. We can't guarantee those who will succeed us are going to be the best. We want to make sure that whoever has a property is not going to interfere with Mr. Flores' property and house whatsoever. That's my case.
Was there anything, Mr. Flores, that you would like to add or tell us about the project?
No, just the suggestion I made to Avi that my mother and I have always wanted to finish it. It's gravel. That area is called Old Woodmere. It's actually the clammers that used to work the bay houses. And in a nice heavy rainstorm, through the gravel, you get occasional clamshells. So it's actually pretty cool. But on a new house, I made the suggestion that a new house is going to need, it's going to look kind of filthy and dirty with a gravel or aggregate driveway. So I said, should you elect to do that, we should work together and do one uniform application. So it looks seamless and it enhances the positioning of the new home and the beauty of the new home and my mother's home, which was actually built in 1900.
Wow. Okay,
Okay?
That's all.
all right.
That's our application.
Great.
Any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Mr. McKevitt, you, your clients, Mr. Flores, and everyone else who signed in will receive a copy of the board's decision by mail once it's rendered.
Second.
Thank you all,
All
folks.
in favor?
Have a nice day.
Any
Stay warm.
opposed? Any
Thank you.
abstentions? Patrick. That was in this file.
Next, we have case 44 of 25 Merrick, Brian Alaricon. Variances, front yard average setback, rear yard, construct second-story addition to dwelling, also known as 113 Margaret Boulevard.
Good morning, my name's Timothy. Good morning, my name's Timothy Lambert. My office is at 3012 Fortescue Avenue in Oceanside, New York, 11572. I'm here today seeking a variance. For a proposed second-story addition, which expands the home's footprint directly in line with the existing exterior walls. So we're putting a second story on a house and we're going straight up, and we're not doing a horizontal expansion. The second story addition requires a variance for front yard setback and rear yard setback. The proposed front yard setback will be 22.3 feet, and the requirement there is 26.24 feet. The proposed rear yard setback is 20 feet, where there's a requirement of 25 feet.
Sir, can I just ask you?
Sure.
It's a second story only, so it's entirely within the footprint of the existing structure?
That's correct, yeah, no expansions to the footprint. The reason I'm here today is because, well, in 1949, the original dwelling was built with these variances. It was granted then on the grounds of a difficult-shaped lot. If you look at the lot, it's almost like a corner, and it was very difficult to locate a standard house. So back then, 1949, it was given the same grants. The fact that I'm going straight up and not expanding outward still means that I have to almost renew this application for front yard and rear yard. Basically, yeah, that's my case. It's in my opinion that, granting these variances won't harm the direct neighbors or the community in any way, and we hope that you can render a decision today so we can start construction. We know for a fact that the neighbors abutting have no objection. There's been letters submitted to that effect. Really, that's it. Yeah, they are expanding. They have a young family right now, and right now it's a ranch with no basement, and they love the area, and they want to go up, just like most of the other neighbors in the area are putting second floor additions on for bedrooms
So
and space.
we don't usually decide cases from the bench at this time, but we do decide a large portion of the cases, either at lunch or after the calendar tonight, depending on whether or not we need additional information. So if you'd like to call tomorrow to find out, even if we decide it today, you probably won't get the written decision for, I don't know, a week or two. But you can certainly call tomorrow morning and see if it was decided, or you can look on the live stream, which is available, it's archived and available, so that you could start lining up your workers if in fact it's approved.
All right, yeah, we would appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. I move the hearing be closed. Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on decision calendar. You'll be notified, Mr. Lambert, by mail when the board's decision.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Next, we have cases
Maybe ramble.
4525 through 4625, Belmore, Kevin and Karen Vahey. Variances, lot area occupied, front yard, average setback, construct roofed over open porch, attached dwelling, special exception to maintain accessory structure, garage bar, higher and larger than permitted and exceeding horizontal maximum on all sides with less than required rear and side yard setbacks, and with lot area occupied variance, also known as 609 Orange Street. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Please state your name and address for the record.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dorian Stith, from Oyster Bay Drafting and Architecture, 68 West Main Street, Oyster Bay, New York, 11771.
Morning.
Morning. We're here to represent the Kevin and Karen Vahey. They're looking for a relief for front yard setback and lot coverage. Currently, right now, the Vaheys have a pre-existing non-conforming for front yard, so the proposed front porch was going to be a violation anyway.
Hold on, did they have a non-conforming letter? Did they get?
No, we already have a non-conforming application at the building department.
You haven't gotten a response yet?
No, I think they're all pending what's going on today.
Okay, so there's a non-conforming application in.
Yes.
Okay, keep going.
Okay. There's also the garage, which is also a much larger accessory structure on the property. The accessory structure has a violation for setbacks also. We've made an accountant for that by providing, I guess, fire prevention materials to follow the board, the code for fire prevention. The accessory structure is significantly larger than a typical garage. Its primary function is a garage. It was never built by the Vaheys. It was actually constructed by the previous homeowner. All they did was just do minor renovations on the inside of the garage by providing new siding and new fire prevention material on the inside.
Hold on.
Yes.
There's a lot going on.
Right.
So let me just start by, you mentioned the fireproofing, that there was fireproofing because of the setback issues, and I think you were referring to the garage.
We are proposing that, yes, on the plans, yes.
Okay, so where are you, the garage, you're proposing to put, the garage is detached, right?
Yes.
Okay, and you're proposing to put fireproofing, fire prevention stuff where?
There, I don't know if you have the plans for the garage, but we actually have,
Plans or site plan?
we actually have building plans that are for the building department.
So
Application
I
number.
apologize, but I have to go slow. So as it relates to this garage, which needs other relief, I see.
Yes.
And has a bar, that, you need your special exception, you need the relief for the size, and you need rear and side yard setbacks, and lot area occupied. So I'm looking at the site plan of the garage. So are you here proposing any changes to the garage or to maintain it as it is, other than the roof? I think you construct roof over porch. Okay, so as to the garage, the way it is right now, and the relief you need for how it is.
Right.
You're not proposing any other changes. You mentioned this fireproofing.
In order to meet the standards for fire prevention and fire code and safety, there are additional preventative measures that have to be taken place for the garage. The homeowner is aware.
This fireproofing,
Yes,
and where did you, are you proposing doing that? Is that in accordance with the town of Hempstead stuff, or the fire marshal, or both?
both.
Okay, so fireproofing you propose, again, and other than these measures you're gonna tell us, that you are proposing to bring it into compliance, let's
Yes.
say, you're not proposing to do any additional work on this garage?
No.
You're asking to keep it where it is in the way it is now?
Correct.
Okay, keep going. On what other measures you're proposing to make it more palatable, to keep it where it is in the size and location it's in?
Well, there are certain preventative measures that could be taken place where the eaves have certain, the venting is removed from the eaves so that it doesn't provide I guess, venting for any fire that may create. So we have notes saying what has to be taken place in order for that to, in order for the garage to meet code in that respect.
So the garage was built with the vents because that was the code, and now now they want the vents out. I get the issue, it's like fire blocking, but.
Right. Well, what happened was that the garage was built without a permit, prior to the Vahis actually owning the property. They performed, I guess, changes to the garage, I guess, to make it aesthetically pleasing, and without knowing what had to take place. In our, I guess, trying to get the application filed for the front porch, all this actually came to light that, this had to be, permitted, so.
So wait, that list of things that you say you're proposing as part of legalizing this garage?
Yes.
Where's that list from? Is it from the town, or?
No, it's on our building plans, it's for application,
But who gave you, who decided on those items?
we did based off the code,
And then you went through the code. You
yes.
selected the items you felt applicable.
Yes, based
and
off
you
of our
put them on the
experience, yes.
plans
Yes,
as part of your proposal to the town?
Yes.
To legalize it?
yes.
Do we have that list here in our material?
It should be on the plans, application number 24-649.
Okay.
I have a copy here, if you want, it's a small copy.
We're going to need that copy at the very least, or a copy of it.
Well, this was mine, I didn't bring the big copy, but I was under the impression that maybe you already
Do you
had
need
the
that
same.
copy for
No,
your
you can have that if you want.
For your testimony?
No, I'm good.
Because we can take it after. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go through for the record. I want on the transcript the items that you're, so if you need that list back.
Well, I would need that, yeah.
That's why, okay, so number one, there's fireproofing that would bring it into compliance with fire marshal,
Yes.
town, state.
Because of the garage's location, or because it doesn't meet minimum setbacks like for a garage, it's well beyond or closer to the neighbor's property. So there are preventative measures that have to take place to protect the neighbor's property.
Is the fireproofing.
Yes.
And then you mentioned taking the vents out of the eaves.
That's
so-
one thing that has to take place, yes.
So the air doesn't fuel the fire.
Right. The other is to actually provide additional fireproofing material on the exterior on the sides that are abutting neighbor's property.
Okay, that's separate from the other fireproofing?
That's all part of the same thing.
Okay. Has the town opined about your proposal?
I haven't heard anything. I think they're just waiting for what happens here today.
But the town is in the position, not us frankly,
Right.
to determine if these are adequate fire measures and meet the codes that the town applies, not us.
I haven't had any comments from
So
town
you
yet.
didn't get a response back saying,
No.
okay, those are adequate?
Based off of our experience and, with these type of situations, we feel that our preventative measures meet and exceed what the building code is asking for.
Okay, so we'll defer, if we are inclined, if we grant this, we're gonna defer. We're gonna put that in. Okay. Okay, so that's the garage. Now, let's just stay on the garage since we're on it. I need you to go through and tell us each of the items in the garage. So first of all, it's got, what kind of barn? I don't have a drawing or
No, we have
picture.
photos.
We have photos?
We have photos.
Tell us about the barn in the garage, and what else
The
is in there?
garage, it's a single-car garage. The garage door is located kind of skewed off to the right side. There's 12 feet of space between the wall and the bar area that the homeowner built. It's not a working bar, meaning there's no running water. All that's in the garage is just electricity. There is still enough space for a car to park in the garage and with the bar in place. It's just meant for entertaining when there's company over.
So, if I'm having company over and I want to use my bar, is there a side door I open to have the bar, or do I
No,
pull
there's
the
a window.
car out and use the garage?
You can either, if during inclement weather, you can actually sit inside. There is a TV. In summertime, if everyone's on the patio adjacent to the garage, there is a window which they can open up.
But he can still park the car in there?
Yes.
Okay, so he made a man cave in there. Okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
Wait a minute, hold it. How can you park a car in there?
This is a Jeep,
Are you
Mr.
kidding?
Regano.
Yeah,
Oh, it
there's a
is?
Jeep in there. That's a nice, that looks like a speakeasy. It's nice.
He likes to entertain.
I thought it was like a little bar. Did you see it, Chris?
No.
Did you see it, Colleen? Wow.
I thought that was
It's pretty nice.
I'll be honest with
You
you.
need
When
one
I-
of
when-
those.
Initially, when I looked at it, I thought it was
A restaurant.
No, I thought these were seats and there's some sort of a
Television.
movie theater. in there.
Wow. Okay, so.
That's a car.
So let's go through.
That might need a public assembly license.
Need a cabaret.
I hope you keep the
So,
door open while
let's
the
go
car's
through,
running.
the
Otherwise,
height.
everybody will get asphyxiated.
It needs horizontal
that
on
to
all
Colleen.
sides. So you need the height variance.
Yes.
You need a larger than allowable variance, and you need, Colleen, what's the square footage on garages? We rarely have that. Well, why does he need larger on the
I
garage?
think it's for height.
No, it's not for height. But what's the number? If it was a shed, it's 144.
Yeah, there's no specific square footage number for a
Then
single
why
car
did they
garage.
deny it that way?
Once you're using a garage for more than just the storage of vehicles, the use of the bar, it becomes an accessory structure that's not a detached garage.
What
And
number
then it's
do
an
we
oversized
apply?
accessory structure. Then we go to the 144, the 12 by 12, 9 foot.
Even though it's only half the structure we're talking about?
We don't have a definition
All
for
right,
a
I'll just get the
combination of
numbers because
garage.
I know the higher will be the average, 12 average, right? Is that
If
applicable?
it was just a garage without the use of the bar, then we would use the 12-foot average.
Oh,
for
so
height.
we're gonna apply the shed numbers, okay.
Yeah.
So, tell us how high, so we're gonna go to the ridge then. What's the height of,
Yeah, I don't have that drawing in front of me anymore. 15 foot 1 inch.
15, 1 inch, where
Yeah.
12 is the applicable, or 9 is the applicable standard. And then you need horizontal on all sides, so you have to tell us the length of the sides for the record, and then larger, the square footage of where 144 is applicable.
The length is, the width is 18 feet 2 inches. The length is 26 feet 2 inches. The square footage is,
Is it rectangular, so I can assume 2 and 2? 2 18s and 2 26s?
well, 476.84.
Show that to
476.84 is the square footage.
476.84. And it's rectangular, so 2 of the sides are 18.2, because it said all sides.
It's squared, yeah, it's 18.2
not
on the
square.
front.
Rectangular.
It's
Oh, I'm
rectangular.
sorry, yeah, it's long on, it's a rectangular in
But
shape.
2 sides are 18.2,
Yes,
or 2 inches. 2 sides are 26 2 inches.
yes.
Okay, so we met that. Now tell us the rear and side yards that it actually maintains.
The, it's 1.9 and 1.4. No,
I
1.9
assume-
and, yeah, 1.9 and 1.9.
191, and I assume
Yes.
it's 2 is the applicable, that's a detached
Yes.
garage, and it would probably be the shed 2, at least 2.
Thank you.
Um,
No, thank you.
And the,
No, you.
we'll just give us the lot area occupied number for the entire proposal, so we have it on the record. And it's a Res B zone, I assume, where 27.5 is
Res
allowable.
B, yes. The lot, provided lot coverage with the garage is 32.22. The required is 27.5.
And then tell us about the roofed over open
Right.
porch attached to the dwelling. Yeah,
Right,
and
so
the
that
third-
would, yeah,
wait,
that was
wait,
all part of the.
Wait, hold on. The lot area occupied, you gave us a 32.22.
Yes.
That includes the roofed over, right?
Yes.
Okay, so just tell us about the roofed over now.
Right, so with the addition that the Vahis are looking for, it's, I guess, reconfiguration of second floor plan. And along with that, there's going to be a foot or, I think, 1.5 cantilever to provide them a little bit more extra space on that second floor.
Wait, nothing about the second floor is before us, right? That's an as of right?
I'm sorry?
The second floor construction that you're talking about,
Yes.
that isn't before us. That must be some as of
No,
right
that, yeah, that's all
construction.
part of.
It's
yeah,
just this
That's all part of
portion.
for the porch application. That's all part of 45, case 45.
Wait,
Because
case
it's a coverage
45
issue.
is the roofed over porch attached to the dwelling.
Right, yes.
And so the other stuff you're doing on the second floor isn't before us, so I assume it's as of right.
Yes.
Okay, so just tell us about that roofed over porch.
Right, so the roofed over porch is, it's something that doesn't go, it's not too crazy. It's just measuring, what they want to do is they just like to, like the Vahis just like to entertain, as you can see, what they're doing with the garage. And they have a lot of people, a lot of friends that come over and visit. And sometimes if people don't want to deal with the craziness that's going on in the backyard, with, with the speakeasy, they want to be able to just hang out and have a nice leisurely conversation in the front. And that's what they're asking for.
Backyard, garage, and front yard parties. Whoa.
So they're asking for a roofed over porch. It's going to measure 8 feet by 28.20.
That's amazing. I love it. 8 by what, I'm sorry?
28.8.
In light of the fact that there are no letters in opposition, what does he do, invite all the neighbors?
Yeah.
He must.
I guess. Well, he's also a member of the Nassau County Police Department, so maybe that has something to do with all the riffraff. I don't know.
Riff-raff, I'm gonna leave that alone. So the front yard every setback, I think you already gave it to us. Did you give it that? That's for the porch.
Yeah, that was at the beginning. The front yard setback with the porch is 17.32.
And what's
The
required?
average front yard setback is, for it, 27.68.
And so it was already encroaching a bit?
Yes.
And you're gonna
pre-existing
encroach
non-conforming.
8 more, okay.
Yes.
And that encroachment, I assume, is part of the non-conforming letter that's pending?
Yes, yes.
Three parties.
Does that conclude your presentation?
Yes.
Any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I just move that the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar, to be notified by mail the board's decision once it's rendered.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
Yeah, you need this back, right? There's a bigger plan of the building department. I don't know. Okay. I think you need this.
Yes. Thank you.
Thanks.
Next, we have case 4725, Oceanside, Miriam Trink. Special exception to maintain accessory structure, shed larger than permitted, exceeding horizontal maximum and with less than required side yard setbacks, also known as 488 Ross Place.
Lisa Koshia with Permits R Us, 338 Jericho Turnpike, number 396, Syosset, New York, 11791. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. I'm here representing Mrs. Trink, who wishes to maintain a shed. This property is located in a Residence B zone. The shed has a horizontal max of 16.2 feet, where the allowed is 12 feet, and has a side yard setback of 0.6 feet, where 2 feet is required. Mrs. Trink respectfully requests your approval.
Mr. Chair, you need larger also. Can you give me that number?
Hold on.
Oh, it's 10 by 16 too, so it's 162, where 144 is allowable.
Correct, 162. Thank you.
Patrick's looking for the search. Do you have a permit for the pool?
Yes,
That's closed out?
yes.
Did they get a state variance for the 4-foot fence? Or,
Along the
Along
bulkhead.
the water.
Would be a 10, we're the 5, there's a 4.
yeah, they are. Patrick's looking
Maybe it's in here. Look.
I have a 5-foot fence enclosure to code permit from 1990.
No, this is Orange Street in Belmont.
Oh, he just wants a search sheet. This is what case? What's the case number?
This is Orange Street in Belmont.
Oh, this is case
Kim, what is the
45.
notation on that
Different case.
picture? The height of the fence?
Here.
Looks less than 5 feet.
Yeah, but this is what
That's what it says on there. Can I see it?
Okay. No,
Okay. So it looks less than 5
There is no non-conforming.
there's a photo that was submitted for the backyard, and it shows a fence, and there's a notation on it that the fence looks like it's less than 5 feet. Do you have any idea about that? Oh. It says maintain, your permit search, closed permit, maintain 4 foot above ground pool with deck and gates.
Right, and I think that was replaced with an in-ground pool. I think that was from 1986. I think it was replaced with an in-ground pool, looks like in 1990, with 5-foot fence and enclosure to code.
And that would be 1990-00700.
Correct, 1990-505, and then next to it, the number you just said.
Got it.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
You still have a lot of open permits. The rear shed, which is before us.
Right.
Rear wood deck, maintain garage conversion. Rear second-story addition. Proposed front patio, portico, and maintain a shed.
Right. And just so that you know, what I'm here before you for is 16-1042 for the shed, but there's also there's an open building permit for 2 other sheds which have been removed. We've taken those permits away,
Okay,
those applications, I'm sorry. So,
thank you.
you're welcome.
Any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Ms. Kachia, you'll be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's rendered.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That you okay, or you need a break?
You say that now, but let's just see here.
Next, we have case 4825, Elmont Bethany French Baptist Church. Installed detached and non-permitted animated sign, overall size 40 square feet, with clearance from bottom of sign to grade at 3 feet and setback 17 feet from Elmont Road, also known as 471 Elmont Road. Ms. Kishia, I have you signed in, sworn in from earlier, just your name and address again.
Sure. Lisa Koshia with Permits Are Us, 338 Jericho Turnpike, number 396, Syosset, New York, 11791. Good morning again. I am here representing Bethany French Baptist Church, who wishes to install a sign. This property is located in a business zone. The proposed sign will be installed in the front of the church and will be 40 square feet, where the allowed is 32 square feet. It will be 3 feet off the ground, where the required is 7, and will have a front yard setback of 17 feet, where the required is 20. They respectfully request your approval.
Ms. Kachia?
Yes.
Do we have a drawing of the sign?
Yes.
Okay, is it monument? Is it,
It is an illuminated sign.
but is it a monument sign that's solid, or is it on a monopole?
It's on two poles on either side. Do you have a picture, or do you need one?
Wait, is it proposed to be, like the road runs, is it proposed to be this way to the road or this way?
It's proposed to be so that when you're driving, you can read, as you're driving past, the sign would be this way. So,
Dawn, can you show it?
I guess vertical towards the building, not horizontal?
Perpendicular to the street?
Perpendicular.
Or parallel?
No, perpendicular.
That says 20%, like 20 inch, just show that mask curve, that's what that is. If you don't mind that. Hold on, the sign. Hold on, let me just see where these driveways are.
It's this, hold on. No, it's, I just had it this, I don't know if you have, do you have this? Yeah. Oh, so it is the inch down. Kidding. I'm not a big down, so I don't know where you have it there. You have that picture, yeah. Yep. It is parallel along the street, Mrs. D'Amato, because it's one side. I just realized that. On two posts.
So it's gonna be parallel to the street?
So it's I guess, one side is only illuminated, it looks like, so it's facing the street to read it on the one side.
Right, but I'm just
Does that make
asking
sense?
because if I'm driving by, usually the signs are perpendicular, so you can read the sign.
Right.
And instead, it's gonna be parallel.
This
So like
looks-
as I drive by, I go like that?
That's what it looks like,
I
as per
agree.
the picture.
I think that seems,
It's only one-sided, so I would assume,
I feel like that's more of a safety hazard because, like, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
There is, I don't know if you're aware of it, but there is a letter in opposition.
No, I'm not.
This is sick.
Would you like to see it?
Please,
So maybe you can address it.
thank you.
There's an existing sign there now.
Thank you.
I'm gonna let her read that first, and then.
Yeah.
I really,
If you go by churches, they're never this way. Churches are always this way.
Yeah.
Look across the street at St. George's. I don't know.
especially the ones that are animated, they change the message. I go, like, over to each one, they change the message. When they change the message.
Oh, I know what that is,
And
yeah.
they're often perpendicular. If you want to
They don't have any
put a
room
message
there.
out,
But look where it's at.
well, they got 17 feet. That's 17 feet setback.
Yeah, but look at the big sidewalk.
I just, it seems odd to have a moving message on a sign like that. I would say I'd look
Maybe that's the opposition letter.
Do you already have a sign there?
There's a small, what looks like a preschool sign.
Yes,
That's
is that
against
going
the
to
building.
remain?
I believe so, yes. The preschool sign? Yes, the preschool sign will remain. I also believe
So
there's a
where would
stop
the other
sign in
sign
front.
be in relationship to the preschool sign?
The, do you want to come up? Do you want to come up?
Hold on, 1 second. Is this gentleman signed in?
No, no.
Oh, wait, I
He
have
is
two
signed
people
in, but he's not sworn in.
Okay.
Good morning.
Sir, can I ask you to speak louder? Because the court reporter has to take it down.
Yeah. Good morning, the body. So I'm Reverend Edie Bishop, the senior pastor of Bethany French Baptist Church of Elmont. We have been there for 6 or going to 7 years. We bought this building. So the sign for the school is there, but we plan to remove it to put our sign because it has been there since maybe 30 years for the school. But we will remove it to put the church building
What-
sign.
And what, you're proposing an animated sign.
Excuse me?
What, you're proposing a sign that's animated, that
Yes.
moves. What kinds of messages, just to give us a flavor of, how often do we expect the message to change? Some of the churches that I've seen with signs that are animated have inspirational messages and say every 30 seconds or every minute it changes a message. It's usually a spiritual and inspirational message. On the other hand, sometimes the sign is just designed to provide more of a static, like maybe it changes once a day to say, by the way, tomorrow, here's when the services are. What's the idea here in terms of how often the message is going to change and the nature of the messages? Like, what's the goal here?
The goal here is to promote what we have as a vision for not only as a church, for the community, not only the program for the church, and then we have a program, after school program, we have a food pantry, we have many things going on for the community. And we have to let people inform what we have for them in the community, not only for the church, but for the entire community. Right now, we have a food pantry, we have a ESL program, we have a outreach for the youth. We have to get involved with the community. That's why the people come in the afternoon, and then we pass the information. That will be more effective, we believe, to bring people to the church.
How often? So do you envision that each morning you'd put up the daily schedule, or you change it once a day, or it's going to flash, or how often do you?
It's not really flash, because when we have the program for the services, now we have 2 services every Sunday, by a community service at 2 p.m. to 12 to 2 p.m. We have one is traditional service, 8 to 10. We have a community service from 12:15 to 2:30. That's involved in a program we may have at the church. So that will be a simple thing. It's not, and to inform the community what we have for them, for the youth, for the community, and for the food pantry we have every Saturday. Every Saturday, if there is a food that come up, that people will know when to come. For the youth, we put the program when to come.
Food pantry.
So that's the whole idea.
So if we, for example, if we were to say, okay, the sign can be animated, it sounds to me like you want a certain kind of animation, because there are different ideas out there. If we were to say, okay, you can have this animated sign, but it can't change more than once an hour, would that be too constrictive?
No, I don't think
Do you wish to change it more than once an hour?
If there is an event that will come.
If what?
If there's an event we will do, that the time we put people to know when the event
It sounds like,
happen.
it sounds
It's not
like,
every
Pastor.
minute we pass fly. No, it's not that. So it's not that at all. It's just when we have an event, we let people know what we have.
And it sounds like if you have an event, it sounds like the message on the sign is not going to change more than a couple of times a day. Is that correct?
That's correct.
How many times a day would you need to change it? Because the problem is, if it changes too frequently, you'll get a driver coming north on Elmont Road, he'll look at the sign and, and he's not looking forward.
Yeah.
So
it's not every single minute, every hour.
No. But how often would you ordinarily change the message?
Like, would hourly be enough?
Yeah, sure. Whatever the time we think is that can advise to be fit, I guess that will be okay for us, because we just want to split the message.
Right, we just don't want to, we want to find a frequency that seems safe and doesn't constrain your needs. So if we said once an hour and you're thinking to yourself, I really need it to change every half an hour, we'd rather you tell us that now.
And it's not going to be a sign where the message is streaming across the front of it. Basically, it's stationary, like service 6 o'clock tonight, and that's it. And it's not going to be, letters or numbers that are moving, correct?
Yeah, correct.
All right?
17.
You can't print that, could you?
Any other questions from the board?
As you know, we have standard conditions that go along with those signs.
Right.
I'm asking counsel to the board, she accessed them. I'm asking her to provide them to us so that we could run it past the pastor to see whether or not,
All right.
if that's.
I think the state, though, wasn't the state parameter, I feel like it was not more than every minute or 10 minutes or something. He's willing to take not more than once an hour.
Not more than an hour, once an hour.
Okay, then if we have enough information, I defer to the
No,
chairman.
no, it's okay.
Now, if you want to see what the sign conditions are, take a peek, it'll only take a minute.
Pat, I think she's gonna forward that to you, and then you can she has that ability? It's just gonna be wording on the sign, it's not gonna be animated that, you know,
Animated, yes.
people singing in the church or something to that effect?
No.
Okay.
Just words.
Is this, Christine, is this the state law, or is this just conditions we've imposed in the past?
These are, this is a condition for a double-faced illuminated reader board sign. So it's
Oh, and this is 2 minutes.
every 2 minutes.
All right, so we're fine, right? It says every
I
2
guess so,
minutes. See,
show
it
to
doesn't-
John.
Here, this
Thank you.
Shows on the-
previously said it shall not change. every 2 minutes. I take it back and say he wants a sign, they forget about it. Everyone's stupid. So, Ms. Kachia,
Yes.
I guess this is kind of semantics, but, well, we'll have to look at, because this, on our calendar, is called animated sign. So I guess it depends on what animated means, because on one hand, animated could mean like a cartoon, the sign is moving, moving, moving. In this case, your client, if I understand correctly, wants to be able to change the wording, but then it'll be static for a period of time. So, I don't know,
The general conditions.
in other cases.
In other cases, the words depicted on the sign shall not move or flash. Are you okay with that, Pastor?
Yes, I'm okay with that.
Okay. No flashing, blinking, or moving lights. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
And basically, we say no animation. In other words, there wouldn't be photos of, it'll just be words, correct?
Yes.
And the words aren't going dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee.
They're not streaming.
No, I don't think it's designed for that. I don't think what we bought is not designed for that, to evit a flash. I
Yeah,
don't think
they're not.
it's
They're
only
not
the
going to do
purpose
that.
for that.
Okay. So, they can have a song.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay, any other
Right?
questions?
Any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Move that the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Ms. Kachia, you and you, sir, will both receive a copy of the board's decision by mail once it's rendered. Thank you, have a nice day, and stay warm, please.
Okay, thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Next, we have cases 49 of 25 through 51 of 25, Point and Lookout. Ellen J. Divner, variances, lot area occupied, rear yard, maintain outdoor shower attached to dwelling. Special exception, maintain accessory structure, shed, with lot area occupied variance. Maintain 5-foot and 6-foot wood fence, both forward of the dwelling, without clear sight triangle at neighbor's driveway, which may substantially obstruct line of sight, also known as 75 Freeport Avenue.
I do. Jean Kennedy Stevens, 124 Haley Drive, Center Moriches, New York, 11934. May I present this to be put in for exhibits and also for the board to look at as I'm doing my...
These to be separated, or do you
Well,
want
this, no, this, yeah, this is, these are separate pages. Yeah, okay. Yes, yes.
photographs to be all together?
Sure, and then this is just stapled by itself, and then to look at by themselves, and this is a consent letter.
Which I think we already put this one.
Did you, okay, I think there might be a couple that Always Engineering had sent, no, this is another one. This is a different one besides the one you have. All righty. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen of the board. Should I wait? Should I wait or continue on?
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Give you a sec, okay.
No, it's not. I need you to look at the fences.
You have this one? Oh, okay, okay. Yes, great. Mm-hmm. Take your time.
The paper's going around.
Okay, good. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen of the board. Mrs. Ellen Dibner of 75 Freeport Avenue, Point Lookout, Residential B Zone, Section 61, Block 16, Lot 45 and 46, is requesting variance relief for lot area occupied for an outdoor shower that is 3.7 by 5 feet and an 8 by 8 PVC shed, which together create the overage of 0.37%. Required is...
Can you speak closer to
Oh,
the mic?
sorry. Is it on? Okay. Required is 27.5%, maintaining 27.87%.
Is that for everything on the property?
Yes,
I want the total lot area occupied.
yes.
Okay, keep going.
We're over by 0.37%. Also requesting to maintain a 5 and a 6 foot wood fence forward of the dwelling and down the side of the property.
I'm gonna,
Yeah, let's
I
stay
want
on
a
the
copy of the
fence.
fence.
Okay,
The fence runs from the rear of the, on the north side,
uh-huh,
runs from the rear of the property to the Freeport Avenue, right to the street.
Right.
And that's the 6-foot fence,
yes.
okay?
Wait,
And,
go ahead. Keep going, keep going.
and
There's the aerial shot also there of the whole area of Freeport Avenue with where it denoted where the fence
Okay.
runs. If you look at the pictures I handed
and then it runs on the,
in, north to south, 5
yeah,
foot.
okay, in the backyard.
Yes, in the
And
back,
that's-
6 foot in the backyard also.
That's also 6 foot.
Right.
Look at this here.
Okay.
Where's the six, where does the notation about the fence on here?
This is here. It's here.
Right, where do you see the?
It's all the way. And then all the way in the back.
Okay, and then
I
it
didn't
goes
get
here.
Does it run on the south side
No.
property line?
No, there's a garage back there. That's attached to the house.
This doesn't, this is not here.
Yeah.
It's not a fence.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't. It's very hard to see. These, the little lines are the.
Yes, can I continue on what I just have to say about it, though? I also submitted some pictures of other streets in Point Lookout with homes that have very obscure driveways and are blocked by bushes. No, Mrs. Debner has lived in a house for 40 years. Her husband passed away. This has been this way since she moved in 40 years ago. She replaced it. There's an old picture of an old fence there, and then there's a picture of the new fence that she put up. She replaced it because the other one finally fell apart. She was originally going to have in 2023 a side addition added with All Wise Engineering, but with her husband passing away, she bailed on that, so she withdrew the application. It's showing on the third sheet, but it's withdrawn. And so basically, when this whole thing came about, she had no idea when she was told that now she needs a permit for the fence because it's been there all this time with never a problem, that she was shocked. They also called the code enforcement department and spoke to Mr. Minio, asking him if there were ever any violations or codes against the house, and he said no, there were none. So this whole thing with the fence, now that she's, opened up a can of worms by doing an addition, was a surprise to her that this was even needed a permit and was a variance.
Hold on, Ms. Kennedy. I'm having trouble reconciling these plot plan and the photograph. Can I ask you where one of the photographs, the second photograph on Exhibit 7, says new replaced fence? Is that the neighbor's?
No, that's her fence right now.
In the front. Okay, hold on.
That's her fence. The one that's a black and white is a picture of the old fence that was there
Okay, hold on.
for 40
hold on,
years.
Hold on. No, come on. Just wait.
Would you like me to approach and go over with you? Okay.
Stephanie, just let the record reflect that Ms. Kennedy clarified, reconciled basically the photograph with the plot plan, because the driveway shown in the photograph is not that of the applicant's, which is why I was confused. So now it's clear. So give me a second, Ms. Kennedy.
Sorry for the confusion. I said I was confused when I got it also from All Wise Engineering. I had to double check it and mark it. I should have given you a corrected site plan myself to clarify exactly what we're dealing with here.
Wait, what about the corrected site plan?
Excuse me?
What about the site
No,
plan?
I said, when I saw it also, it's hard to kind of denote where the fence is and isn't with the markings, so I said I should have actually highlighted it for the board and give them a copy of it so they would understand exactly what we're dealing with.
Okay.
So Mrs. Dibner's house was built in 1932. She's lived there in the house for 40 years with a husband who just passed away a year ago. When she moved into her home, there was an existing wood fence that was similar to the one that is existing today. The fence was replaced about a year and a half ago because it finally gave way and fell apart. I checked, like I had said, I spoke with Mr. Minio of the Code Compliance Department, who instructed me that there were no complaints, no violations against her house and her property in all those years. Back in 2023, she was in the process of putting on an addition to her home application 23-425, which was withdrawn due to the passing of her husband. At that point, all the applications were filed to maintain the non-permitted structures. Mrs. Dibner had no idea at the time that her fence of 40 years was there and was not to code and would require a variance to maintain it. We were able to get, which the board has, some letters from some of the neighbors giving their consent. As far as Mrs. Dibner can recollect, there have never been any adverse situations related to her existing fence at its present location in all these years.
Hold on, I need that. Ms.
All
Ken-
up and down the block with all the pictures I've supplied the board, there are many numerous driveways that are obscured by bushes, porches, fences, stoops, and that's just kind of the quaint, the classic beach community that Point Lookout is. For her to relocate the fence at this point would be life-threatening or very financially hardship, especially since she just put a lot of money into having it replaced.
Ms. Kennedy?
Excuse me?
Can I ask you two?
Yeah.
Okay. The 4-foot fence along the front of the street, I can't tell by the photograph or the plot plan, does it cut back at all toward the dwelling?
Yes. Over by the gate, to the south, just before the house.
Wait, the photograph makes it look like, wait a minute. Okay, the photograph, so the fence runs all the way along, and the way you showed it to me at the bench was it stopped at her house, or at her driveway. Hold,
Can I approach
yeah,
you?
come up. Joe, there's an, Stephanie, let the record reflect, Mr. Kennedy further clarified the plot plan because it's so poorly written that we can't disseminate from the plot plan where the fence is. So go ahead, Ms. Kennedy.
I apologize, like I said, I should have corrected that myself because I was at a loss with that too. Like I said, Mrs. Dibner is 80 years old and she just spent a lot of money on having that fence replaced a year and a half ago. And it would be a financial hardship for her. And it would also, if she had to relocate it, take away from the backyard that she's enjoyed and loved and used for the past 40 years. So therefore, we're asking that the board look favorably upon Mrs. Dibner's variance request and allow her fence to remain. Thank you.
I move the hearing be closed, the case placed on the decision calendar. When the board renders its decision, you'll be notified.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Aye.
Stay warm.
Yeah. Because it was a bad drawing, I changed it. I throw it out. That's covered. Is it? Oh, okay. Because the court reporter's hands can't make it any further, so.
Next, we're calling case 5225 through 5425 Inwood, Josephine Ganis. Variance, lot area occupied, maintain addition, attached dwelling, special exception to maintain accessory structure shed higher than the permitted, exceeding horizontal maximum, and with lot area occupied variance. Maintain 8-foot wood fence, also known as 44 Meadow Road. Sir, I believe I have you sworn in from earlier. Just your name and address again for the record.
Timothy Lambert, 3012 Fortescue Avenue in Oceanside, New York. Okay, today we're seeking a variance to maintain a one-story rear addition, a shed, and an 8-foot tall fence. The one-story rear addition requires a variance for lot coverage. We're proposing a lot coverage of 28.2%, where the required allowable lot coverage is 27.5%. That's only a 1% overage. The shed requires a variance for lot coverage, height, and horizontal length. The proposed lot coverage with the shed and the addition is 30.4%. Entire lot coverage is 30.4% with everything, if everything's approved. And, you know, the permitted allowable is 27.5%. The height of the shed is 12 feet, where 9 feet is the maximum allowable, and the horizontal length is 12.65 feet, where 12 feet is the maximum allowable. We also have a fence that requires a variance for height, and the proposed fence height is 8 feet tall, and the maximum allowable there is 6 feet tall. This fence is along the rear property line only, and it creates a screen to the commercial business operating behind the house. There's a bakery there that has like shipping containers as storage. There's a lot of activity with trucks and deliveries, and it's noisy. So this particular homeowner installed a fence. All of these structures have been here, you know, over the past 20 years. The fence is probably...
Can I ask you how was your client doing other work or selling the property when
They're getting ready to sell the property, so they're getting all their ducks in a row.
it's like
with
that back
permitting.
fence, no one would ever even
Right,
care,
yeah.
discover it or
You know,
care.
exactly. They're doing the right thing. We advise them to take care of all their permits at once. That's it.
Any other questions from the board? No, sir. Do I have a motion?
Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Sir, you've been notified by mail of the board's decision. Once it's rendered, sorry you had to wait.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have case 5525 near Westbury, Sergio McAllis. Maintain pool equipment not permitted in the side yard, also known as 42 Hark Lane. Swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God. State your name and address for the record.
My name is John Novello, 1253 Colonial Road, Hewlett, New York, 11557. Good morning, Chairman, members of the board. I'm here on behalf of the applicant, Sergio Magalis. We're here to legalize or to maintain the pool equipment in the side yard. The pool equipment is on the northerly side of the property, where there is a existing 10.3 feet side yard setback. The pool equipment is greater than 5 feet away from the property line. It is next to 2 HVAC units, and the only reason we're here is that the pool equipment, according to town code, has to be in the rear yard, but it was placed on the side. If the board has any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them.
If not, do I have a motion?
Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on decision calendar. Mr. Novello, you'll be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's rendered.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Have a good day. You too. Thanks.
Next, we have case 5625 East Meadow, Shepherd Gorman. Variance, side yard, maintain 2 AC units attached to dwelling, also known as 1444 Cleveland Avenue. Swear affirm to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God. State your name and address for the record.
morning, members of the board. My name is Ashley Lowe Chianese from Mark Anthony Architects. Our office is located at 1563 Belmore Avenue in Belmore, New York. We are here today on behalf of our clients, Shepard and Cheryl Gorman, who are the owners and occupants of the subject property located at 1444 Cleveland Avenue in East Meadow, New York. We are here today as a result of an application for 2 AC units, which was filed under application 24-3540 with the building department. For AC Unit A, the existing side yard setback is 0.85 feet, where 5 feet is required, for which we are requesting 4.15 feet of relief. Additionally, AC Unit B has an existing side yard setback of 1.5 feet, where 5 feet is required, for which we are requesting 3.5 feet of relief. The AC unit was placed on that side of the property so that it was out of the way, as that side of the home is not really usable as it is so small. Additionally, Mr. and Mrs. Gorman stated at the time of installation they spoke with their neighbors located on that side of the property, Mr. Deb and Ms. Roy, who said that the noise would not bother them as there is a strip of land and then a 2-car garage on that side of their property. So it is not next to the habitable space of their home. I would also like to note that this side of the house does not have a compliant side yard setback, as it was built having only 5.4 feet to the property line. So even if the AC unit was put up against the house, it would still not be compliant. Based on the manufacturer's specs, the AC unit needs to be at least 12 inches away from the house. So unfortunately, that is not feasible. Mr. and Mrs. Gorman have lived in the home since 1976 and were made aware of the legalizations they required when they began the process of putting the home in a trust. That concludes our requests. I'm happy to answer any questions the board may have.
How does,
Why should it
if
be
I
any
may,
different than any other?
no, but if I may, what, putting the home in a trust triggers what?
I believe they
It's
ran.
a deed transfer.
I'm just telling you what the homeowners told me. I believe that they were trying to make it so that in the event that it's transferred to their children, they won't have any problems selling the home, based on my conversation
No,
with them.
I commend them for
Maybe
coming
they
in.
ran a
I'm just
title
wondering
search.
what triggered the whole
Maybe they
thing.
just ran a title search when they did the transfer, just for no reason.
That
just
wouldn't
to check
show.
it.
That wouldn't show.
Yeah, typically, a title search only shows if they had already started the process. But I believe
Oh, yeah,
that
these are just AC.
one of them went through and was had a similar situation where they tried to sell one of their own homes and had problems with permitting, and as a result, wanted to do it all at once when they started with the
The bottom line is
legalization.
the children, if one of them had a negative experience, the children said, let's do it now rather than later. I mean, the fact that they're conveying
just
it to a
2 AC
trust,
units.
it doesn't mean a thing. All right, in any event, that concludes your presentation.
It does.
Any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. You'll be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's rendered. Ms. Lowe?
That concludes the morning calendar. Second?
Aye.
All in favor? That concludes the morning calendar. We'll take a 30-second break and do decisions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
See you guys later.
See ya. Get your earmuffs on.
Thank you.
Joe, you're getting like, what's happening? You're slipping here. These, where are all of our hand warmers?
Oh,
There's only enough for
you know,
one of us.
I was looking for them the other day.
There's only,
I'd gone to Lowe's and I said, I should get them, but I
thought I
forgot.
have some in my basement somewhere.
I forgot.
I had some. Do they have one? No, my hands right now are freezing. I just like literally.
Open one of them
No,
up.
no, no. I have my thing on. It's all right. I'm fine.
Yeah.
I got my mother an electric row.
Yeah. No, you charge it. My son gave me one of them. A vest, yeah.
Who has a vest? I wear like a
She got a packet of hand warmers here. She
I wear a down vest sometimes in my house.
Vanity.
Oh, my God, that's all I need to do is be electrocuted.
What, a throw?
I'll do it.
Electric throw?
Bring yourself in an electric blanket.
Probably no
I
way
got,
to plug it
my
in.
mother has an electric blanket, and then I got her an electric, actually my dad an electric
Federal law.
This one plugged into the wall, so my dad would sit in this chair and like.
When did they come in?
Didn't, because there's a stay, there's a
He
decision
would
in
be nice,
Texas
it's nothing.
Apparently, Wyoming's the one that does this. I will.
I know you are.
DOI, my understanding.
You're always
Business?
DOI is federal law.
Wait, this is done for business, what? Operations?
Business owners. It's decision time.
The two that I have on reserve that I expected,
Yeah,
I'm
wait.
waiting for the files. I asked them to bring the files.
All
I
right.
can do it, so I'll have to do that.
So, all right. Cases 37, 38, and 39 of 2025, Wanto McDonald's Corporation. Do I have any comments from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
We need to amend, it's not 15.6 square feet, it's
5.67
5.67 square feet.
Yeah,
Right.
so I looked up the old
Oh,
records.
okay.
Right.
And they do have permits from
Four.
2024 for the enter and exit sign. And for the record, the signs that are permitted are 1.9 feet by 3 feet, so a total of 5.76 square feet, which is lesser relief than what the board granted in 1973 regarding the square feet. I'm also a little confused because the caption as written seems to indicate that the sign is 39 feet in height, which I think is also a typo.
Go ahead.
They probably meant 39 inches, but, so in looking at the new plans, they're 4 feet in height, which is 48 inches. So if the board is inclined to grant it,
We'll amend the
caption
caption.
needs to be amended to reflect that the square
Two
footage
directional signs.
and height.
Okay, so I make a motion for case 37 to 39 of 25 in Wantagh McDonald's Corporation to amend the caption to say 5.76 square feet,
For each of the two directional signs.
correct? And then a height of 48 inches in height,
For both of the directional
For the
signs.
directionals.
correct?
Correct, so that's cases 38 and 39.
Yep.
Perfect.
Oh, wait, for the same time. Keep going, so I can second motion.
Oh, okay, for the same, 5 years, same conditions.
Same conditions.
Yep,
5
everything.
years.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Case 40 of 2025, Levittown, Kevin and Phyllis Nally. That's 72 Orchid Road. It's renewal of a grant. Do I have any comments from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Move that case 40, 2025, as you previously described it, be approved as requested, same 5 years, same conditions.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Case 41 of 2025, Merrick, Stephen Koshers. We're going to hold that one. That's been adjourned to March 5th at 11 a.m. All right. Case 42 of 25, Franklin Square, Agatha.
One second, do we need to, do we know yet if we need to add a case to that, or nothing?
No.
We need to add a case to that. I'm looking at the records. I mean, I'll show you.
We'll
guys the
do it later?
records. Yeah.
Just
I don't-
adjourning it now? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, it's adjourned. I got it. Case 42 of 25, Franklin Square, Agatha Calcaterra Lyons. Front yard setback, Courthouse Road.
That's the one that we.
That's the one that he volunteered to remove the cellar entrance and replace, not replace that, but put in an egress window.
Instead of a door.
Correct.
So is it replacing?
It's not replacing.
We're putting it in the same location.
Closing up the stairs, and he's going to install.
Eliminate
He's
the.
got to close the stair, the cellar entrance.
Well, okay, yeah.
Seal it.
Eliminate the stairs and put in its place, in the same location, an egress window.
So then.
I don't want to put the
Well,
egress
wait a
window
minute.
somewhere else and then reopen the
The
stairs.
egress window is going to be below grade.
Right, but I don't want to.
Then he's got to keep the stairs.
The stairs go down.
Unless there's.
No, they make a well, yeah. Because I don't want him to put the egress window somewhere else, and then someone later comes and opens the stairs back up.
So then, should the portion of the application to maintain the cellar entrance be denied?
Yes.
Yes.
And then with the conditions that the door, the staircase be closed.
Be
door changed
removed,
to-
the staircase be removed,
Egress window
and an
with a
egress
with a
window
well.
be installed
With a
there.
well.
Yep.
That's your,
granted
your,
part,
mo-
denied
it's your
part.
motion.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
You made that motion, correct?
Yeah.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Woodmere, case 43 of 2025, 994 Singleton LLC. Any comments?
Yeah, just that, that's the case that we all know was put on the record, and they'll be sent to Christine, that we're going to grant it, and that, but there will be conditions that were articulated. North side is a 68-foot fence. I mean, there's no fence for
No
68
fence
feet.
for
And then
68
there was another condition about the driveways or something. But in
They're
any
gonna-
case.
they're gonna-
Shared driveway?
Well, I
And they're
think
going
they're gonna do
to,
that,
they're
but-
going to, they'll pave it or put asphalt down.
And basically, it's your motion, Joanne, but I'm just going to say that motion will include. Okay, I'll move it relates to case 43, 2025. As you've described, the chairman's described it, the properties at 994 Singleton Avenue in Woodmere, that we approve the requested relief with the conditions articulated at the hearing and provided hereinafter to counsel to the board in writing.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Case 44 of 2025, Merrick. Property address is 113 Margaret Boulevard. This is the one where he's got some relatively minor variances. I think he's going straight up on this. This was a ranch. Yeah, same variances that were previously 1949 they were granted. Any comments from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
I move case 44 of 2025, location 113 Margaret Boulevard in Merrick, be granted as requested.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Cases 45 and 46. Kevin and Karen Vahey, this is the Golden Garage.
Yeah, we
All
need to
right.
discuss this, because he had mentioned, is this the file? We need to pull the file, because he had mentioned they put in, we don't have to do this second, or we can. But Christine, I know you were in the courtroom the whole time. He had mentioned that they had filed for a non-conforming, and he didn't think they had received anything back yet, but when we were on to the next case, it looked like Mr. Agano had located a non-conforming letter. That's part one, because any decision we make on this has to also somehow include the non-conforming. Exactly, right, but I think he did get the letter back. That's number one. Number two, he mentioned that his application to the building department, it's a little odd that it's here, because he mentioned that his application to the building department included, so keeping the garage where it is and in the form it's in, making no alterations to it except those proposed as alterations designed to bring it into fire compliance and whatever other structural compliance required. So he said that he had used this statute or statutes to create a proposal to the building department, but hadn't heard back yet on it. So to the extent we're willing to approve it, and I'm not adverse to it, we need to be sure that,
Wait a minute, wait. Can I interject? If we're waiting for some approval from the building department, why are we making a decision?
I don't think we are, because it wouldn't be here, would it? That's why it's an odd situation. So I think that we need to address that, and if we're inclined to say the garage is fine, it needs to be fine, provided that you do all the things on your list you propose to the building department, if the building department wants it. I mean, it's sort of an odd, again, I don't see how it's here without the building department having opined on those items. So now I found the non-conforming that we understood during the hearing wasn't yet responded to. So this is a non-conforming letter dated 10/10/23, referencing, let's see, 609 Orange Street, Belmore, Section 56, Block 313, Lot 0598 and 0599. And I guess I can either read it in full or just read the decision here, because it's in the file, so it can be referenced. This application to maintain a non-conforming one-family dwelling on a 50 by 100 plot is hereby granted, subject to the following conditions. There are 6 conditions. 1, obtain a building permit for the first and second floor alterations with AC. 2, obtain building permit for fencing. 3, obtain building permit for 18 by 26 detached garage, that's before us. 4, obtain building permit for heating equipment. 5, obtain building permit for the first floor half bath. 6, have an inspection by the area inspector. So the fencing is not before us,
No.
nor is, it doesn't say the AC unit's exterior. So the rest of the items do not appear to be before us. Only the new construction of the roofed over porch, I guess, and then the garage. So I guess any decision we have has to include complying with the non-conforming
Conditions.
letter of the date previously referenced, and then I guess council can figure out how we address ensuring that those proposals, we don't even know, did the building department rely on those proposals in sending it to us? And if so, what's in them?
My understanding is that our grant is obviously subject to, like, the building department has to.
Oh, the standard.
Correct.
Right.
So all the fireproofing and whatnot, that would be required by the building department,
Yes.
and we shouldn't necessarily opine on it because
I
they're
assume-
the experts.
I assume so, but
So-
but when I asked him, he also, I think we should reference the 4 bodies, the state, county, which is the fire marshal, basically, and town. And I'm just not clear, it's an odd chain of
They'll meet all
events, so.
necessary codes.
Well, yes, but.
They have to anyway.
Yeah.
Right, but he came before us saying, if we approve this, he will do these other fire things. So those may be in addition to the standard codes. So I'll let you address it, Christine, but I just think we need to just check on that real quick, because
Okay, I can contact the plans examiner
there's a
today.
little, I feel like there might be a little spot where it could fall through the cracks. If the building department thought we addressed it, and we think they addressed it, because it might be unique to this case.
What I can do is, during break, I'll try and reach out to the plans examiner if he's in, and we can maybe revisit it this afternoon.
Okay,
I'm gonna
or
hold
we
it for the time being.
Okay, because otherwise, I think it's a fine case.
Mm-hmm.
And I hesitate to say, I wish I had one of those.
You can, put it over your pole. Case 47 of 2025, Oceanside, Miriam Trink. Do I have any, I'd love to hear that. Do I have any, 488 Ross Place in Oceanside? Do I have any discussion from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
I move case 47 of 25 Oceanside, Miriam Trink, located at 488 Ross Place, be approved as requested. Lots of open permits need to be closed.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Case 48 of 2025, Elmont Bethany French Baptist Church. I think we're going to fashion some conditions for the Bethany French Baptist Church. but-
Yeah, we're going to take out the word, yeah.
Yeah.
But that one, here, I have it right here. I can see it. So Because the application,
Hi. You can bring our food?
because the application in this case asks for animated, and it's semantics, because animated does think it, but all the things he wants, we wouldn't, I wouldn't call animated. So I think if he agreed to 1 hour, so we can make it an hour, or give us just
Yep.
half an hour, and then I would just
Wait,
say.
that the message every hour?
He
It
won't
changes
change
every
it,
hour?
he won't change it.
Not
more
less,
than-
not less than every hour.
Got it.
Okay, so then, as this condition says flashing,
So we'll do
blinking.
this one too?
So, yeah, but I would just say flag, and leave out this.
Hi. Nice seeing you.
Okay.
You can say,
And we're gonna change this to every hour
This
as
can
well,
say-
correct?
sure. Well, eliminate text on sign for not longer than,
There's
Yeah.
I'm not
California
sure,
fires are gonna
because-
completely change the building code,
okay, look, listen.
construction.
This does not preclude the applicant from displaying the text on the sign for longer than an hour. So they can keep it on for longer, they don't have to change it.
Okay, I agree. So in this one, we're just gonna take out this
notice?
no animation. We
Sure.
can still leave the words depicted shall
Like a
not move or flash.
misconception,
And you probably don't
but
want the EG,
the
it probably just says like that.
buildings
Because only I
appear
only
to
say
me
that
that
because
the
the word
buildings
is
up on the
animated
hill,
in
a lot of
here,
those
rather
buildings
than cut
were in
it.
effect.
We could
But
change
the
it
ones
to a
alongside
reader
the
board. We
water
can
were
amend the
destroyed
caption to a
totally.
reader board sign too.
It's up,
Yeah,
I would
and I
just
think
leave
it's-
it and just
Okay,
take
leave
it.
it.
You know,
So then-
Because
and
that,
if every
using
disaster
the
that
word
happens
animation just
like this, they change
brings
the building
in
codes.
confusion. That's
What
all,
they
but
should
I
do
don't
is
want to
prevent them
deny
from
the
doing
animation.
that.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Again, I think like you said, it's
You want your
semantics.
insurance
It
rate.
is,
Because it's not
semantic.
like the words,
In New
the
York,
words are even scrolling.
Watch the
Exactly,
money
It's
that
how
which is
to
what we
use
would
it.
think of
gonna
as
throw in
animated.
there,
Correct.
who's gonna pay for that?
So I will incorporate
Okay,
these
so-
changes if the board would like to make a
but-
decision.
I would
How-
move
how
that
would you-
case
how would you
48
prohibit them from building again? It's
of 2025,
Declare it,
which
declare it a
is
danger zone, a dangerous
Bethany
zone.
French Baptist Church, protecting the property 471 Elmont
Let them-
Road,
let the state of
be
California
approved as requested with the various conditions discussed in the hearing, agreed to by the applicant,
They allowed it in
and
the
discussed and
first
approved by this board.
You ever go out there in the summer?
Temporary 5 years.
Any second?
Second, can someone second my?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor? Aye. It's just the, Case 49 through 51 of 2025 in Point Lookout, Ellen J. Dibner. This is the case at 75 Freeport Avenue in Point Lookout. I would like to inspect that case and check various items. So put that on reserve. Next cases are 552 through 54 of 2025. In Inwood, it's Joseph Ganas. The property is at 44 Meadow Road, again in Inwood. Is there any discussion about this case? If not, is there a motion?
I move cases 52 through 54 of 2025, location of property 44 Meadow Road, Inwood, be granted as requested.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Case 55 of 2025.
5 years on the fence.
With conditions?
With conditions.
I would leave that. That fence is only along the rear property line abutting commercial property.
So then would you like?
I'd like the fence permanent.
Sounds good. Permanent.
Right, 'cause
I
remember-
withdraw. No.
Now that-
I withdraw.
But then we should maybe just, I'll explain the location. of the
Yes,
fence in the
location of
decision.
the property.
Yeah, it's literally the only rear property line abutting the bakery and all that stuff. He said. Case 55 of 2025, Sergio Magalhães, pardon me. The property is at 42 Lark Lane, Hark Lane, gee, mini cricket, Hark Lane, Lark Hayne, near Westbury. Any discussion? If not, is there a motion?
I move case 55 or 25 near Westbury, Sergio located at 42 Hark Lane, be approved as requested.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Case 56 of 2025 in East Meadow, it's Shepherd Gorman. The property is at 1444 Cleveland Avenue, Joanne, in East Meadow. Any discussion? If not, is there a motion?
I move case 56 of 2025, location of property 1444 Cleveland Avenue in East Meadow, be granted as requested.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
I don't think we have too many updates on the.
I'm a good assistant, you see?
I have no
get that. So I looked at the Atlantic Beach case again. That's the one, it was 3 houses requested initially, then it's down to 2. A couple of discussion points I would just make. There's a first and second floor deck proposed on the property that's in the front yard, encroaching in the side yard. It's in the front of the house, pushing out to the side yard. I think, given this is a substandard piece of property, I think the second-story deck, I think we should consider not approving that. It's kind of, small piece of property, small side yards. It's kind of intrusive into the neighboring properties. I also note that the side yards proposed on the 2 houses are larger between the houses than they are on the abutting properties to each side. I think that should be changed so that they given that they're substandard lots, so that the neighbors have a little more breathing room. In addition, it's a Residence C with a 35 lot area occupied allowable. They're proposing 47. I think it's, 5 pounds of potatoes 10 pounds of potatoes in a 5-pound bag. I would think something more like a 40%, which is still a 5 percentage points over, is more than fair. And then I guess there's that. I did note that on the elevations, the BFE was 13, the DFE was 15. They then note, oddly, I've never seen, that the FEMA, parentheses in caps, is 17, and then they propose 18.7 as the finished first floor. That gives them a 9-foot, 7-inch garage. I appreciate, given this area, that it is beneficial to have a garage in these structures because street parking gets tight. There's not a lot of driveways, especially. So I'm not against them having enough space for a garage. They do not need a height variance. So I can go either way on it. But if people think that we should, let's see, what do you want in a garage? I think people like 10-foot garages. So again, I understand the 9.7, and it isn't a flat roof, so the bulk of the structure isn't entirely offensive. So, I guess, to me, 40-foot lot area occupied, we make a determination about what the side yard should be, and definitely bigger on the adjacent properties, not the 2 subjects, and take off the second floor deck, then I would find it a lot more palatable, but I'd like to hear what others think.
What's that 17-foot FEMA?
I mentioned it to council of the board because my knee-jerk reaction, to be perfectly honest, is it's an attempt to be confusing at the best, misleading at the worst, but next time the architect who is in, I'm going to ask him, but either way, it's again, I do think the garage is important. It reduces the number of sheds people want, it puts cars off the street, and in these neighborhoods, that's a real thing.
Are they going to be able to build 17 feet to start with 30 above that?
No.
It was measured
No.
from the DFE.
No, they would be allowed 30 from 15.
Correct.
And they're starting their finished first floor at 18.7.
And I think it was
Again,
27 feet.
27 and change is what they proposed. What I didn't look at is how much driveway space they have. I should have looked at that. Is it easy? Yeah. Wait, you have to go back there? We can just
does the board want me to do a draft
Yes.
decision?
Yes. And if others, and so I would say,
Yes, you have to do a draft.
move in those side yards, 40-foot, take off the second floor deck.
Yep.
And probably allow the garage as it is, again, no height variance, and it is beneficial because they're putting the equipment in the garages, to elevate it. So I get that. And yeah, would you pull the site plan? I'm just curious about how much driveway space. Because I think it's a single-car garage, in which, I can't remember. In which case, they are going to need driveway space too, okay.
We don't have to address that 17 number?
No, not really.
The measurement is not from 7, it's not 30 plus, starting at the 17.
You can call it whatever you want. It starts
30
at
plus
15.
at the 17.
It's from the 15,
which
from
is
the DFE.
But he put in a confusing.
It is a bit confusing, but at the end of the day, it's immaterial, because it's not like anyone took the measurement that
she's right, it's immaterial.
Just make sure you write it, it's.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. After you do each page,
Oh, yeah, of course. I do not have any updates, with the exception of case 31 on page 2. Just so you know, the applicant did forward all the paperwork that he sent to the state. He still does not have a New York State variance, but he did forward all of that documentation to the office. That is the only update I have on page 2.
I have on page 2, I asked Dawn earlier, I inspected again, case 21, which is at 39 Wood Hill, and I asked for the files to be pulled, so after this evening, we can do that case, and also on the next page, the Point Lookout cases I inspected, I asked Dawn, and those files will be provided.
I have no update on page 3, other than the applicant did provide the...
Requested information.
Correct, but, other than that, I think we have a couple of administrative things.
What's going on with any Article 78s that are outstanding?
Well,